Hello, everybody. My name is Marius William from Green Pro Consulting. I'm an electrical engineer and I've got probably 2 degrees in electrical engineering from Stellenbosch University. I've been in the solar industry for a bit more than 10 years. And how many years? 30 years before that in control systems, military systems, and all sorts of other parts of electrical engineering. I think this week I have just lost my cool with electricians. And I decided that electricians, first of all, during their training, they only get to do with one of the 3 disciplines that you need. They understand electrical engineering. Mostly they don't get taught control systems, and mostly they don't get taught communication systems. Now, let's say half of them actually rise above it, and they are clever enough to teach themselves the other disciplines that they didn't cover when they were qualified. Half of them remained complete retards. Okay, and that's why I put electricians in the solar industry in 2 categories. They're either retards or they're clever electricians. Fortunately, there's a lot of clever electricians, but unfortunately, there's also a lot of retards. And mostly the retards are the most arrogant ones that believe that they are 100% correct and nobody else knows what they're talking about. And I really want to make this video for their customers to warn them about the retards. And the topic that I want to use specifically goes around SunSync, and it specifically is around the positioning of the current transformer, in other words, the measurement device that you have to put in for a SunSync inverter to control the power flow from the panels to the non-essential loads, because that is where the retards get it wrong. So let's cover Team Retard quickly. First of all, you have panels over there. Okay, the panels feed power to the SunSync inverter. I'm not going to talk much about it, but it charges the battery, it takes power from the battery, and it sends that both the panel power and the battery power under whatever conditions to the essential loads, which is connected to the output of the inverter. Now, I'm not going to cover that again. That stays the same everywhere. Now, what Team Retard does is they take the CT and they put it most often inside the inverter box, just to add insult to injury. But they connect the CT just before the inverter. In other words, the power comes in from the street. They feed all the non-essential loads. And then just before they feed the SunSync inverter, they put the CT in there. So let's consider what the CT's purpose is. The CT measures the current there, flowing through the current transformer. It then cuts back to ensure that no power flows past the CT towards the street. Okay. Which means that if you put it there, then they cut the power back so that no power flows to your geyser or your stove, and prevents the benefits that you can get on non-essential loads that you can get from the panel power. Now, Team Retard makes sure that you don't get that benefit. That is what they do. So let's move on to Team Clever. This is now the clever electrician. What they do is where the power comes into the house, or mostly we're talking about houses. So let's just talk about houses. They put the CT just after you come, call it past the main breaker. They put the CT there. That means that the power comes from the panel, it goes through the inverter, and then it goes to things like your stove and your geyser and whatever, and then they benefit from the power which is pushed out from the inverter towards them. They then put the CT right after the main breaker in the house, which means that you now measure the current over there, okay, just as it comes in. And then the inverter cuts back to ensure that zero current flows through the CT. So the current can flow over here, down there, up and down there, into the non-essential loads. But it prevents the power from flowing through there into the street. And then you get the benefit of panel power to the non-essential loads. So when you select an electrician to install your system, make sure that you get one. You ask him, where are you going to put the CT? If he's from Team Clever, he will tell you he puts it at the input going to the, of the power at the house. If he's from Team Retard, he will tell you that he puts it at the inverter and most probably inside the inverter box. So make sure you pick somebody that is from Team Clever.